Am I the a-hole for reminding my parents why they are not in my life and will never meet their grandkids? I, 29F, grew up thinking my parents were just strict, concerned, and maybe a little overprotective. They claimed they loved me and wanted the best for me, but I've since learned that what they really wanted was control, compliance, and an image of perfection that I was supposed to uphold at all costs. My parents were both obese and extremely insecure about it. But instead of working on themselves, they projected that insecurity onto me from an early age. Even though I was a healthy child, they constantly monitored my weight. They put me on restrictive diets, forced me to take supplements and over-the-counter weight loss pills, and had me exercising obsessively by the time I was 10. I wasn't allowed to eat the same meals as them. Mine were heavily portioned and calorie counted. Every bite was scrutinized. At 15, I was 5 feet 8 inches and down to 90 pounds. I was constantly sick, dizzy, exhausted. I ended up developing a bleeding ulcer. My doctor was immediately alarmed, but when my parents came into the room, they lied to his face. They told him I must have had a bug. They said they'd been trying to get me to eat more, that I was just too into sports. My mom gave me a look that said, "Don't you dare contradict us." I didn't. I stayed quiet. But that was the moment something snapped. I realized they weren't just strict or doing their best, they were dangerous. They'd rather see me waste away than gain 5 pounds. As soon as I turned 18 and left for college, I went low contact. I moved 3,000 miles away. I didn't block them outright, mostly because some extended family convinced me not to. They told me it would be better to keep communication open just in case something happened. So I left them on social media, but heavily restricted what they could see. I figured as long as I wasn't directly engaging, it didn't matter. It wasn't until years later that I realized what a mistake that was. Fast forward. I'm married now to an amazing man. We have 2 beautiful kids. I've built a life filled with love, respect, and the kind of warmth I never had growing up. I never told my parents about the kids, didn't feel they deserved to know. But a few months ago, they found out anyway, through photos that slipped through family grapevines. Turns out it was one of my aunts who'd always pushed me to stay open to family that ended up showing them. Then the messages started. First, they reached out asking why they weren't told. Then came the guilt tripping. When can we meet our grandkids? Why are you hiding them from us? We deserve to be part of their lives. It was like I was expected to forget everything just because time had passed. I reminded them exactly why they were cut out of my life. I brought up the diets, the pills, the abuse, the ulcer, how they tried to control my body and my mind, how they never once acted out of love, only shame and projection. I told them my children would never, ever be exposed to that. Their response? They called me a little asshole for holding grudges and living in the past. My mom actually said, "We did all that for you, to make you better than us." They still didn't see the damage. Still don't believe they did anything wrong. I hung up the call. My hands were shaking. That night I cried, but not because I doubted myself. I cried because for years I'd quietly carried this pain and pretended I was fine. But I wasn't. I'd never been fine. I just got good at surviving. My husband came home that night and sat me down. He told me I needed to block them. All of them. Not just my parents, but the extended family members who gaslit me into staying connected just in case. The ones who handed over private photos without my consent. He wanted it all gone for my peace, for our kids, for our family. I wasn't sure at first. But the truth is, he was right. That same evening, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law came over. They watched the kids while my SIL took me out for drinks, just to talk and unwind. We laughed, we cried, we vented. I came home lighter. When I walked in, my husband had bought me an iPad as a surprise. We're the only ones in the family without iPhones, and he knew I used social media mostly for video calls. Together, we set it up, then went through my phone and accounts. We blocked everyone from my side, parents, aunts, cousins, all of them. We deactivated my old socials. Then we video called the people who actually matter, his side of the family. We gave them the new number, told them what happened, and I went to bed with an inbox full of messages from people telling me I'm strong, I'm loved, and I'm doing the right thing. I've finally made peace with the decision. My parents will never meet my children. Not because I'm cruel, but because I'm a protector. I will love and cherish my children the way I was never loved. I will not repeat the cycle. I will never make them feel like they are broken or not enough. I may have been born into toxicity, but my kids, they were born into safety, love, and wholeness. And that's how the cycle ends.